I, female 30, am single and child-free by choice. I date occasionally, but no long-term relationships. This is due to many reasons. I love my freedom. I want to enjoy my life unencumbered with responsibilities, and I really want to focus on my career. My older brother, 34, got married when he was 26. He has two daughters, pre-tween and preschooler. They had a traditional household. He wanted a partner who stayed home and looked after the family while he earned. She had apparently dreamed of being a homemaker and taking care of children, but she showed signs of hating it for the last couple of years. She wanted to study more and work outside, build something of her own, but my brother refused to step up or help. I warned him once, but he's told me it's none of my business how he runs his household. I kept my mouth shut since. His wife left him a month ago. She just wrote him a letter saying she can't do this and wants to explore her life. She left the kids with him and basically vanished. We have no idea where she is, and it appears neither does her family. The thing is, my brother doesn't even know how to do the most essential things. He's the kind of guy who's never changed a diaper or toasted bread. When my brother found out his wife had left, he called my mother, who rushed in to save the day. She thought it was short term and my sister-in-law would be back, but she hasn't. My father's unwell and needs her home soon. They live hours away. My brother suggested she take the kids home with her. My dad said no. He's retired, and they're both getting old. He doesn't want to have kids in the house full time, taking up her time and energy. Since that was a no-go, my brother asked me to either move in with them or help out or take the kids in with me. I refused. From what I see, he's a grown adult, and these kids are his responsibility. I chose to live the way I do and do not want to sacrifice my life for his choices. My family's pressuring me, saying stuff like how my brother doesn't know how to take care of kids, how little girls need a woman, how family helps family, etc. My brother's calling me cold-hearted for not even trying to help. Am I the idiot? Edit. He told me to either move in with him or take the girls to my home when my mom leaves, like substituting my mom for my nieces. Not the idiot. Necessity is the mother of invention, as the saying goes. He will have to learn quickly, as is his duty and responsibility as a father. How did he get to be so chauvinistic in this era? He's not asking you to help. He's asking you to give him your entire life to take over his responsibilities. It is 100% not your problem. He should find and pay for childcare first, and then focus on running a household. It's a shame that his wife couldn't sit him down and make him realize this changes or I'm leaving, but that's not your fault. You even warned him, and he refused to listen. I feel sorry for the girls that their father's trying to foist them off on anyone willing to take them, or even someone unwilling. He can take some parenting classes. If he makes enough money to afford one parent to be stay-at-home, maybe he can hire a part-time nanny. Don't let your family guilt you into this. None of this is your responsibility. Also, why should you know how to raise kids better than him? Oh, it's because you're a woman. And I'd bet that Dad had told the girls that they would stay with Grandma and Grandpa before they said no. Then he probably told the girls that their aunt would stay too. And I bet he's framing it to the kids as Grandma and Grandpa don't want you, your aunt doesn't want you, etc. From their perspective, these kids are being abandoned and rejected by every adult in their lives. I feel so incredibly sad for them. Update. Am I the idiot for not helping my brother when his wife left him? My brother refused to learn anything during the month my mom stayed at his house. My dad is like him. My mom was a stay-at-home mom and catered to them both. She taught only me to cook, clean, do laundry, and serve. One of the main reasons I stay away from relationships. Sister-in-law is still missing. If my brother had filed a report for a missing person or got an investigation agency involved, we may be able to locate her, but he's not doing either. It's more like her number is no longer in use. She hadn't told anyone where she was going kind of thing. My brother's not exactly chasing her down. He's waiting her out, thinking she'll be back. I think my sister-in-law will come back, but I don't think it'll be soon. Knowing her, she'll try to make something of herself somewhere and won't be back until she does it. She had plans to go to college. She hadn't gone to one before. He didn't support her. Her family didn't support her. She had told me once she wished she could run away. With the timing and everything, she may have gone somewhere to go to college. She's taken all her documents. She doesn't have friends here that I know of. My brother doesn't exactly give her money for fun stuff. And after the oldest baby was born, she never had time. She only ever hung out with me, mostly because I don't mind her bringing her kids with her, and I would cover for her because they don't have money for a babysitter. I think she left the kids here because she can't support them and probably thought it would be better for them to be here, where they have a home. I don't think she's callous or malicious, just frustrated, backed into a corner, and making hard choices. OP, not your circus, not your monkeys. But for the rest, I have watched too much true crime, I believe. No one knows where she is? She left her children? Just like that? Can't you or your parents file that report? I really find it suspicious. Maybe she really left, but I don't think mothers do that often without any mental problems. I do not accuse him, but I think the police should be involved to check it out. Dad is 100% living in denial. If he files the report, it becomes real that she left. OP based on the info I was given by my mother. She told me they had communicated with sister-in-law's parents as well. Hearing that she had taken all her documents, and per her note, I trusted that she had gone somewhere where she could study and make something of herself, but a lot of comments had me questioning it all. Many of you wanted me to file a report as a missing person. What I realized is that my parents and I not filing it made sense. We know and trust my brother, but why didn't my sister-in-law's parents file a report? They should have made me more suspicious, right? So I called sister-in-law's mom. She didn't sound worried or sad, so I was more suspicious. I asked her if she knew where sister-in-law was. She said they don't know. Sister-in-law said nothing to them, etc. I told her I would file a report today to know she was safe. Her mom panicked at that and told me not to, that sister-in-law will come back home when she's ready. I told her I had to file a report unless I knew she was safe. She kept insisting I didn't have to. It was very suspicious. 5 minutes after my call, I got a call from an unknown number. It was sister-in-law. She was panicking and more or less begged me not to file a report. Turns out she was in another state, crashing with distant family. She really did want to go to college, and my brother wasn't letting her. She had a huge fight with him about all that the week before she left. She was really depressed and feeling stuck. Her parents loaned her some cash through a church friend who helped her escape. She begged me not to file a report, saying he would sue her for child support, and she could barely support herself and go to college. I told her abandoning her kids was wrong. She cried when she said she knew and hoped they could forgive her. She really couldn't live this life anymore. Leaving them was the hardest decision she ever made, but she felt it was better than taking them and letting them starve with her. At least here they have a home and a family. I did ask her why she couldn't just divorce my brother then. She said she didn't have money for a lawyer or anything, no home to return to. She's not proud of it, but said she couldn't stay and fight. She didn't tell me where exactly she was, didn't want to risk it, asked me not to give her number to my family. I did tell her about the situation with the kids. She just said my brother will figure it out. She cannot help in any way right now. She'll come back to her babies when she can. Good grief, people suck. Figure your life out before you procreate. Everyone's the idiot. Not for not helping out physically with the children, but for not giving the number to your brother. His wife is no better than a deadbeat dad, running away from paying child support. She needs to be taken to court and made to pay. She needs to get a job and figure it out. She needs to deal with the consequences of her actions, no different than your brother does with his. My cousin Jay got pregnant when she was 19. She was out of high school and lived with our grandparents. It wasn't a good time for her. Her half-brother and I were both in 12th grade, and we had jobs. We decided to help her out of our own free will. No one asked us to or asked us for money. We just loved her and knew she needed support. She had a girl named Callie. We helped buy diapers and formula. We babysat so Jay could work and go out every once in a while. Jay met a nice guy and married him 2 years ago. He has 2 kids from a previous relationship that he gets on the weekends. Callie's a tween now, and I still hang out with her. Lately, Jay's been asking me to take out her stepkids when I take Callie out. I told her no, I don't know those kids and don't really want to be responsible for them. I like spoiling my little cousin, but that's it. She's been great practice for when I have kids. Jay says I'm creating a schism between her kids because Callie returns from hanging out with me and the other kids get jealous. She thinks I should take all the kids or stop doing stuff with Callie. Callie heard her, and she may have picked up some language from me because she was very vocal about her displeasure. My mom thinks I should take the kids. I said I would, if she would keep an eye on them around the axes, knives, and throwing stars. She said we could take the kids to a bouncy play area. I said she could take the kids there while Callie and I did our thing, and we could catch up after. She said I was missing the point. I don't need to include those kids. Not the idiot. You have a special bond with Callie, not her stepkids. Kids need to learn to manage disappointment, and this is an excellent opportunity for them to get some practice in it. Not everything in life is fair and equal, which can be painful to accept, but it's also a reality we must accept. The kids have been barely step-nibblings for 2 years, and their dad only gets them on the weekends. So why is the new husband ready to pawn his kids off on other people the 2 days he gets them? The dude's already just the weekend dad. If Callie wants the step-siblings to join, she's the one who has to ask OP. Otherwise, the dad needs to figure this crap out. You aren't obligated to take out any kids you don't want to, but I can see why your cousin is upset. It's causing an issue between Callie and the other kids, and I'm sure they're hurt over it. I understand not wanting to be responsible for the kids when you're doing activities, but wow, you can't even throw in a simple McDonald's trip or something one day? Regardless, this situation sucks. You should actively try and make it better. Chances are to create a better bond between the kids, you're going to find yourself left out. You don't live in a vacuum. You have to see how your actions are affecting 2 innocent kids. To ignore that is just wrong. So, I'm a single father to my daughter Sarah, who recently started her sophomore year of high school. Sarah has autism, and though she's not especially learning disabled, she takes all mainstream or advanced classes. She does have trouble regulating her emotions and navigating social situations. She's very independent and needs minimal accommodations, though thanks to the accommodations that she does need, I'm used to dealing with the school district's special education programs. So far, I've not been especially impressed. Another thing to note about Sarah is that she has trouble controlling her temper and is very protective of her personal property. So anyway, Sarah has this little fuzzy penguin plush that she calls Percy. She uses Percy as a sensory toy because his fuzzy texture helps her to calm down. Percy was bought for Sarah by my late wife, her late mother, so needless to say, Percy is very special to Sarah. In Sarah's math class, a boy named Milo is special needs. Milo has an aide who works with him. This situation involves his aide, who I'll call Mr. A. The teacher of the class is Miss T. The way Sarah tells it, on Friday during her math class, while she was working quietly and fidgeting with Percy, Mr. A came up to her and asked her to give Percy to Milo. Sarah said no, and Mr. A tried convincing her to share Percy. Mr. A later said that he was asking nicely, but according to Sarah and her table mate, he was being extremely condescending, talking to her like one would talk to a little kid. This culminated in Mr. A trying to take Percy out of Sarah's hands, and Sarah slapping Mr. A's hand and yelling at him. At that point, Miss T called for security, who arrived quickly and escorted Sarah to the security office. This is when the school called me. There was a big meeting with Mr. A, Miss T, the vice principal, and the school counselor. Sarah and Mr. Ray told their sides of the story, with Sarah's tablemate as a third witness. It turns out that because Sarah sometimes works with the special ed department, Mr. Ray assumed that Percy was one of the school's special ed toys that they give to special needs kids while they're at school. Milo was starting to have a meltdown, and Mr. Ray thought that Percy might help him calm down. Apparently, the procedure for getting something away from a special needs kid is to ask nicely, persuade nicely, and take it away gently. I asked what steps would be taken against Mr. Ray for trying to steal from Sarah, and the other adults looked appalled. They said it was a misunderstanding, and the real concern was Sarah's violent outburst. The vice principal said that the school normally expels kids who attack a teacher, but after the misunderstanding came to light, they were willing to be lenient and settle for a week's suspension. I was not okay with this. He tried to steal from my daughter, but the administration said that it wasn't up for negotiation. I told them what they were doing was unacceptable, but that I might not sue if they switched up their act and fired Mr. Ray. They basically said, "We dare you to sue," in more polite words, and I left with Sarah. After talking things over with a buddy of mine, he jokingly called me a Karen for threatening to sue the school. And now I'm thinking that my reaction was too extreme. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but my parents sued my sister's school for much more. They have deep pockets, so be prepared to fight. It took over 4 years for them to settle. They were hoping to drain my family of money, but my mom's lawyer got so angry, he took her case pro bono if she did the legwork. The settlement was nice, but she had to sign an NDA, and she still has 2 years left. Don't be afraid to fight, just know what you're against. Oh, you know it's going to be a messed up story if it's so bad that a lawyer takes the case pro bono. Anyways, OP, it's time to go further and involve the higher-ups. Definitely do it in a letter or email. Paper trails are harder for them to ignore. I did this by sending a certified letter to the school board, the principal, and the teacher regarding the laws they were breaking. My child was suddenly not going to be moved, and the principal was removed for the following year. Oh, don't send a certified letter. Get your lawyer to send a certified letter. Not the idiot. The aide tried to steal your daughter's security object, and she's facing trouble for defending herself. On a side note, help your daughter make a little vest and carry a bag for Percy that says Sarah's BBF or something, so she can show that it is her personal property. If you have any of your wife's old scarves or clothes to make it out of, that would be extra special for her.